Hi guys, welcome to my latest video from Meerkat Musings. I am your host Ben, obviously, and I was gonna do a recap of Avengers Endgame for this video. I just can't seem to get into a flow about that, which feels particularly good. So instead I thought I would change the subject completely for something else which is more recent, and it's not a pressing concern, but it's something which I think is of greater interest to me at this exact second. Don't get me wrong, I might do a video about Endgame. I will say that it's an absolutely amazing movie. There are so many things going on, a lot of fan service for people that have stuck with the movies since day one. Some of that fan service will go right over the heads of people who haven't watched the films. But hey, you know what? The film was made for the fans. It was made for people that have been following this journey for 11 years. And they're entitled to do what they want with it, really, at this point. If they want to have lots of in-jokes and stuff like that, so be it. There are a few people who didn't like that, but then, as I say, this film was made for people that have been following this adventure for a long time. And why shouldn't they put in some service for the fans? It's absolutely fine in my book, but there you go. But the main purpose behind this video is to talk about the events of the last 2 days. In particular, the last 2 days of Champions League football. I've already written a little article on my website about this, but I just want to try and put my thoughts into words, as it were. Firstly, Tuesday night, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I approached Tuesday night with, I suppose, not optimism, because when you're 3-0 down against Barcelona after the first leg, even when you're at home for the second leg, you do kind of assume that's it. So I just wanted to see the players give it their all, give it their very best shot, and I'm pleased to say that they did. And, well, it wasn't just their very best shot. They overwhelmed Barcelona. Yes, that's right. Barcelona, a team bristling with star players, were overwhelmed. And as much as anything, it wasn't just because of the way in which Liverpool played. It was the atmosphere of Anfield, the atmosphere of the club, the stadium, the way in which the fans just drove the team on. As one of the pundits said, that atmosphere, it drives on the Liverpool players. It gives them so much energy and belief. And it can rattle opposing players. You kind of think to yourself, surely in the modern game, footballers are not going to be psyched by opposing fans, but Liverpool fans create this incredibly intimidating atmosphere for rival clubs and for opposing players, and I think it did get under the skin of the Barcelona players. So between that and the way Liverpool were just relentless, well, in the end, miracles do happen in football, and Liverpool came back from 3-0 down to win 4-0 on the night and go through to the final. Absolutely sensational, and I can't wait. And I can't wait for another reason, because most of my family support Spurs. My mother, father, brother, wife, my father-in-law, one of my brothers-in-law, they're all Spurs fans. And I don't begrudge Spurs doing well, mostly for that reason. So when they were 2-0 down on the night and 3-0 down on aggregate, now there's a word which I don't want to try and say quickly, with 45 minutes to go the tie, you're kind of thinking, well, Liverpool better get ready to play Ajax in the final. And then Spurs pulled off their own amazing miracle comeback. They needed 3 goals in 45 minutes without reply. And they got 3 goals in 45 minutes without reply, including scoring in the last minute of injury time, last kick of the game, in fact, to actually put themselves through into the final as well. So for me personally, now it's a case of, interesting, because, as I say, big Liverpool fan, and I really, really, of course, want Liverpool to do well in the final. I'm hoping for a miracle on Sunday. I'm praying for Brighton. If you want to send your own hopes and prayers to Brighton Football Club to stop Man City, then please send them. But now I'm also thinking about June the 1st as well, and the possibility of that amazing All English Champions League final with, from my point of view, Liverpool winning it, of course, fingers crossed. But I wouldn't begrudge Spurs winning, because I know what it would mean to my family members that support Spurs. It would mean the absolute world to them for Spurs to win it. I hope they don't, but I'd rather lose to Spurs than most other teams out there, if it comes down to that, of course. So will be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what happens on Sunday. I've got a beer in the fridge. It's called King Goblin, which I won't open until Liverpool have won something this season. So it may not get opened at all, of course. But if Liverpool win the Premiership on Sunday by some miracle, then I'm definitely going to enjoy that. If they don't win the Premiership but win the Champions League, then June 1st, that beer gets cracked open. And if they win both, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Go out and buy more beer. But yeah, that's kind of been playing on my mind, the amazing events of the past couple of nights. Football's an amazing sport. It really is. It's just sensational. I can't really believe the events of the past two days and how the scores have gone. It goes to show, never ever assume that you can't come back. And that doesn't just apply to football, Sometimes you think to yourself, oh God, this task, this mission, this job, this whatever. You think to yourself, you're in a position where you can't recover from. And it's easy sometimes to get dispirited, but sometimes you just have to never ever give up. Just keep trying, keep working. Sometimes you'll fail, but sometimes you'll surprise yourself. And that's something you've got to try and do in life. You just have to keep going, keep pushing, keep trying, keep fighting your corner as best you can. And in the end, you'll succeed. As long as you just don't give up. And sometimes you won't succeed, if whatever you do, but you'll always do better when you try than if you don't try. That's kind of paraphrasing Yoda slightly. Yeah, that was weird. But that's kind of the message from both Liverpool and Spurs. It's not over till it's over. You play until the final whistle, and you leave everything on the pitch. And that goes for a lot of things in life.